I'm trying to get Dream Daddy, and I was gonna stream that. But I really like
I've watched
that.
a few people play. It's so hilarious.
Oh
I
yeah.
want to play so bad.
Well, the funny thing is though, like, have you guys played any other dating sims? Because dating sims usually are hilarious. There's one called How to Fool Boyfriend.
How to what?
So it's a dating sim, and it's about a girl that goes to this high school. The only girl that attends a bird high school.
A bird high school? Like birds?
They're birds.
What?
Yeah, so
I need
the way...
information.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I need to see the receipts. I have no.
I'll have to stream it because it's actually fucking hilarious. It really is. You have to see it.
Are the
It's just
birds
really
like
funny.
humanoid shaped?
So they have you could do it where they have a human profile, or you could do it where it's actually like actual pictures of the birds. I do it with a human profile because it's just weird seeing pigeons. Yeah,
How is
it's
this
really-
conversation
it's really
happening?
funny. Is it the dad that's trying to find another dad? Figure that out.
The
'Cause I
girl's
was
not
like-
looking for another dad. You could be looking for a dream daddy. I don't know. Really, I'm sorry. I only watched like maybe 30 minutes, but I know at the beginning when you're setting up your person, you can say my wife died and now it left me with my daughter, or you can say my husband died and left me with our daughter. You can pick either or.
Okay.
I wonder how that works from the theme. Like you just decide, oh, I'm done with women, or you're bisexual, or how that.
Does it ultimately like drive you into looking for daddies, like regardless of what you
Well,
choose?
That's what I don't know because I've never seen it from the.
And this is why we need
I
one of us
have
to
a-
play this game. See.
I think you're right. I think one of us needs to get this so that we can get a full
Is
understanding.
that egg knots?
It's not. Aw. Let's not
Yeah.
do that this weekend.
I have to live through the YouTubers right
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Okay.
So I've been recording. I pretty much recorded the whole
Oh!
the whole Dream Daddy
No!
conversation. Yeah.
You've been duped. I've
got
been
you.
had.
Yes. My evil
Lies.
plan is working. Yes.
Oh man.
Right now. What is going on, y'all? This is your girl, the Mad Queen 88, and this is the Shadow Brokers podcast. This is episode 4, and I'm here with the girls, Crystal Shrooms and Happy Dagger. What's going on, ladies?
Hello.
Hello. How is everyone? I'm gonna start it off because I know that I finally remembered our order of speaking.
Yay!
Crystal Mushroom. I am Crystal Mushroom, also known as Shrooms by this gang. I am happy to speak to you all. And I hope everybody's doing good. Hi.
I am Happy Dagger 88. How's it going, everybody?
What is up, y'all? I'm your girl, the Mad Queen 88. And I like how, Crystal, your name has progressively turned into a drug the whole time we have done this. Like, it started off as Crystal Mushrooms, and then it was like Shrooms, and now it's like evolved into Crystal Shrooms, at least for me. Sometimes I call you Crystal Shrooms. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna stress this because so many people have had this discussion with me. So many people have become friends with me because of this name, because I thought I was actively into drugs. No, that is not the case. Actually, my name is Crystal Mushroom because Crystal being my first name. Surprise, surprise,
What?
everybody. I know somebody's like, what?
You
And,
don't say.
mushroom is actually because in middle school, for some reason, my hair would always end up looking like a cap of a mushroom. So now you guys know that has nothing to do with drugs, and that is why I am Crystal Mushroom.
It's okay.
Very
You're
interesting
still a
story.
drug to us. You're still shrooms. I'm just kidding. Well, thank you for that backstory on that, guys.
Yeah, that's my superhero backstory, in case anyone needs to
her
know.
origin story. Oh my gosh, we should do origin stories one episode. Oh my
I
gosh.
was given by a radioactive crystal mushroom.
And forever I've been called Crystal Mushroom. And then like we shine the mushroom spotlight, like the Batman symbol, into the sky. Whenever we start the podcast, that's what we do to get shrooms on the call. We just
Can we please? I want a. So anyone who is listening to this, I will love you always if you build me a crystal mushroom spotlight.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
Please send it into us. We'll get like a PO box or something, so you guys just send us a spotlight, and we'll use it every time we need to get shrooms on the podcast.
Yes, I will stare up into the sky longingly every day. Like they need me sometime soon.
They're waiting for me. They'll need me. My city needs me.
Oh, I don't know. Oh wait, nope, that was just a bag signal.
Oh, just Batman. Why are they calling that guy? Who needs him?
Damn it, Batman!
Oh my gosh. All right. So before we get jumped into this episode, we have a few things switching up for this episode. We're going to do our What's Up segment first, and then we're going to go into the one-off segment. We've only had one other of these in all 4 of these episodes, so it's cool that we're bringing that back for this episode. But first, what have you ladies been up to? What's up?
So for me, it's a little bit of, I've been looking at, and we're probably going to talk about this later, but I've been looking at, the Happy Few, which, We Happy Few, not The Happy Few, We Happy Few, which isn't out yet, but I really cannot wait for it to come out. I've been still working on Yakuza. People are like, seriously, like, hurry up, be done with that, but I've been on the host club segment, and that's kind of hard. But yeah, so I've been working on that, playing some Tekken here and there, and I've been on the edge of my seat because Team USA in Overwatch World Cup is destroying everyone.
Oh man, what?
So, yeah, that's what I've been doing. Sorry.
I'll have to catch some highlights of that. I'll have to catch some highlights of that because I haven't seen any of it.
Yes, please do, because it's so I've been trying to write an article about it, which it will be on the blog eventually, but I'm not a sports fan. I'm not. And watching the World Cup for Overwatch with these announcers that sound like football player announcers, like, makes it sound so amazing. And I'm sitting there like, I'm a nerd. Why do I have a football announcer? Like, when did that happen? It's so beautiful.
It's great. It's becoming a huge thing.
Yes, it is. And just hearing somebody and be like, yeah, and he's on the point, and oh, Diva's using her self-destruct. Oh, that was perfect. Yes, like,
Oh,
it is
snap.
so amazing. Like, watch it. Everybody, watch it. That's all I have to say. That's what I've been doing.
Oh,
So,
Just
man.
imagine when they start commentating over Lucio Ball.
Yo, I'm ready. I am ready because I can understand what they're talking about. Like, that's why I don't like sports. It's because they'll be like, yeah, he did this blah 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 move, and I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck that means.
The triple
Like, oh, sorry,
header,
I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So Overwatch stuff, I'm like,
oh,
yes.
Are we
oh
ordering
my God.
burgers?
Yes, that's me.
That's cool. So that's cool. You've been whooping ass on Eddie Gordo and Tekken and stuff like that.
Hey.
She had to redo
I'm
it.
such an instigator.
Here we go. We were gonna make it through one podcast without arguing.
I was hoping that would happen. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I'm
Somebody
hoping.
stirring the pot.
Okay, I'm just gonna drink the rest of this tea, and we're gonna let Dagger talk about what she's been up to.
Well, for those of you who don't know, I'm sure you have at this point, I am still at the Academy for Corrections. I have one more week to go, and I can come back home and be free. Well, not free, then they're really gonna work me to death. But, what have I played? I tried to play Overwatch, but the hotel internet is just like, no, you're gonna lag, you're gonna glitch out, you're gonna lose all your matches. So I gave up on that. I did play a little bit of D4. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that. Dark Dreams Don't Die.
No.
If you have not, it is insanely crazy. Like, it is definitely like, like Japanese style games are known to be just over the top and weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This game is so over the top and weird. I'm playing it because I'm just confused at this point, and I need answers.
You need closure. Like this can't
Yeah,
be correct.
you're like, from what I can gather so far, and this is just like an hour into the game, you are a time traveling cop, and someone has killed your wife, and you have to go back. You go in and out of time trying to figure out who did what. There's a lady that lives in your house that thinks she's a cat, and she acts like a cat. It's very strange. It's a very, very strange game.
That sounds
But
like a
you
fetish.
definitely need to play it.
That sounds
no,
like someone's fetish.
Like, you can poke her, and she's just like,
What?
No, don't do
What?
that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what? What? Like, it's a very strange game.
Okay.
But I recommend it. Yeah, I swear I'm not crazy. And then I started playing like the very, very first one, just because I was like, I need something to play, so I activated my the Game Pass thing that Xbox has going on without looking at the catalog first. And I mean, to each his own, but if I didn't have a free trial, I wouldn't have it, and I'll leave it at that. But yeah, because it's a bunch of old. I mean, if you don't have the games and they're games that you are definitely interested in playing, then by all means do it. But it's like super old 360 games and not like anything
good.
like
Super old.
I mean,
360 games.
Yeah, I mean, they have some Xbox One games. I'll say that, but like they have all three BioShocks, and they have all the Gears of Wars. But other than that, it's stuff I've never heard of before. Yeah, so
the collective.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it sounds good. And then I mean, they're supposed to be recycling the games every so often, so hopefully that'll happen and make it better. But as of right now, as it is, don't get your little 2 weeks free and then come on and back out and whatever. Try again later. That's just my advice.
That's how I was with like Amazon Prime. I was like, yeah, 30 days. When I need to order something, let me get this free trial real quick and get this free 2-day shipping.
Amazon, come get this girl.
I know, right? Once again, no sponsors because I'd be fucking up the game. We can't hear the
But other than that, I've been chilling.
Well, that's cool. I haven't been up to much. Just my daughter is here turning on the air conditioner, and she said the TV is not loud enough because I'm talking too loud. So if there is some background noise, it's because it's a mixture of Moana and the air condition. But
sounds like a good mix.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, thank you. She turned it off. Great. Okay. So I started a new series on my YouTube channel for 7 Days to Die. I think I messaged you guys earlier this week about it.
Yes.
It's a really fun zombie survival game, and it has like a crafting system similar to Minecraft, where pretty much everything you build, you have to craft it from stuff you get, items you get throughout the world. And it's really fun, and for me it's really scary because at night, depending on how you set up your server, and you can set it up, there are a lot of different options. You can make it where the zombies can run, can't run, never run, or whatever. You can set up how long the days are in game time, and you can customize your character and all that stuff. So basically I just have mine set on default, where throughout the day the zombies, they walk. At night they run, and they're like stronger, and they can like tear down your house and all that stuff, so you gotta be inside. So I have it set like that. And then every 7 days a like horde comes, like spawns to you. They know where you are, and you have to like defend your little whether you created a base or if you just got in a prefabricated house or something like that. So I played this a while back in beta, and now it's been a few years since then, and it's in alpha, so a lot of things have changed. And it's a lot of fun, but like I'm dreading my 7-day horde. Like I stopped playing. Like I was like, I'm having fun, but I'm terrified. But you know what? I'm just gonna wait because I don't think I'm prepared at all.
Look,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just want to jump in real quick. I popped in one day in your stream, and before I even said anything, you were in your house. I guess it was nighttime, and you're like, I need this. y'all trying to make me go outside. I know what's out there.
Yeah, they're like, you can't play me. I am not opening that door. So I'm pretty much spending, I think the night is like 15 or 20 minutes long. I pretty much like sit there on my little bedroll thing in the corner, trying not to move and hoping that crafting doesn't draw anything to me, and just listening to sounds. I'm like, what's that?
Yo.
So right now it's not very interesting because I'm terrified, but as I progress, I think I'll get a little bit more brave.
I'm gonna tell you right now, you won't. 'Cause that shit's scary. I don't even know. Like, that just sounds like torture. Zombies, hordes of zombies, and zombies that run. Like, no.
Yeah, that's a bad combination.
No.
Yeah, and it took like kind of like some inspiration from, what is it? Left 4 Dead. I don't know if you guys remember that shit.
Oh yeah.
Where there's special zombies, and it seems like a lot of zombie survival games do that anyway. Like State of Decay, the same way. There's a bunch of specials or whatever. But so there's always that factor too. So it's really fun, and so I'm trying to convince Shrooms to get it so that we can play together.
So if you guys can't tell, that's my hell no laugh.
Oh man,
I might. I'll tell you this. I might, but I can't guarantee how long I'll be on it.
It's not scary when there's more people. I'm totally lying, but other than that, I've been playing a little State of Decay. Oh, and what's crazy is, so I haven't been streaming that long. I have a couple hundred subscribers, and I actually made it to 250 this week, so that makes me happy. Shout out to all the subs. But I had my first, I want to call it a troll attack, because it's it's not like it's just one that randomly pops in and says whatever, and you can just ignore it. It was like 4 of them back to back. Like, they came in ready to argue with my people that are actually there to watch me play. I was like, what is going on? I didn't even know, this is the first time this has happened. So I'm just like, what do I even do? I didn't want to engage and have it on my actual recording. I didn't want to I don't know, I guess didn't want to give them the attention or make it seem like I'm the person that's going to argue with the troll, because then more are going to come, she's going to argue on stream and Yeah. So I was like, I'm just going to ignore it. But I had this girl, she's followed me since I was playing The Walking Dead season 3, and she's 12. Now, I don't condone 12-year-olds to watch my channel because I curse a lot and stuff, but I'm not her parent. If her mom knows she's on or whatever, that's cool. But there was this weirdo dude talking about jacking his peen, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And she's like, I'm gonna leave because this is something. I was like, girl, you should, because you're 12. I don't want you in here needing to deal with this. So it's just kind of gross and weird that people are like this online. But granted, I was streaming in the middle of the night. It was 11 here, so that means on the East Coast it was 1 or 2. Yeah, so you get the weirdos at night.
that don't make it okay.
No, it's definitely not okay.
It can happen at any time of the day, because I had it happen to me once, and it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and
Dang.
I'm yelling, got nothing else to do. Nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's trash. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna apologize for them because they're whack. That's grimy. And to the little 12-year-old girl, keep watching, Queen.
Keep watching. She knows she's welcome. Clementine is her name on YouTube. So Clementine, you're always welcome, and I'll always wear my Clementine hat when I play. Yeah, really
Word
cool
up to
kid.
Clementine. Go her.
Anyways, you guys, let's jump into this one off. It's a little bit... What?
One sec, sorry. There was one thing I forgot to mention, and I think it should be brought up because it does relate to what we talk about with this games and all things game related. There is one thing I was watching, and I'm sorry, I meant to put this earlier and I forgot. There's an anime I think you guys would really like to watch. I don't know if you like subtitles, but it's called Gamers. And I think you guys should watch it. And it's about a kid who plays all kinds of games, and he's asked to join the school gaming club, and he doesn't join it because all the people are really competitive and he's not into it. But it's a really romantic comedy anime. But what's great about it is that it shows literally like every game like out there. So it has like a Call of Duty game that they show. It shows like a Puyo Puyo or like a Tetris type game. It shows Blaze Blue. It shows all these different kinds. And I just forgot to mention it. It's really great. I think you guys should watch it. That's all I did.
It looks cool. I'm looking at images and screenshots from it. It looks really cool.
Yeah,
it kind of reminds me, just like the idea that you described, it reminds me of Video Game High School. Did you guys ever watch that on Netflix?
I vaguely remember that.
It was so dope. Like, they had every type of class, and like this one kid, his father was like a teacher of some sort of game, and he wanted his son to follow in his footsteps to be this type of gamer, but he was more into like Guitar Hero style games, even though he was trash at them, but he loved to do it. And his father was like, oh, it was racing. He was like, no, you're gonna be a racer and you're good at racing and you're gonna follow in my footsteps. And he was like, no, I just want to play Guitar Hero. It was a really cool series. So yeah, I'm gonna check out the Gamers anime because it kind of sounds like something similar to that, and I'm with it.
All right, cool.
So we'll check it out.
That said something.
No worries. All right, so the one-off, we're going to talk about some of the current events that have been going on in this country as of late. More specifically, we're going to talk about Charlottesville, Virginia, and the whole weird protest. Basically, white nationalists siege protest at the University of Virginia. They were armed with tiki torches and they were yelling, and the whole point of this was to stop the removal of a Robert E. Lee statue that was on campus. That was, I guess, I don't know if there was some sort of plan for it to be removed the next day, and that's why they were there. Dagger, I think you have a little bit more information on it than I do.
Now, I don't know if it was supposed to be removed or not. I feel like I remember seeing somebody put something about how it was sold to a private purchaser because that person wanted it to stay up. The whole thing is basically they want to pull down because of the whole racial tension that it's causing, yada yada, blah blah blah.
Yep.
And the white, I'll just call them white nationalists, to just as a general statement. I'm not saying they're all white nationalists. I'm not saying they're all Nazis. I'm just as a general, so I can.
I mean, if they were out there, they pretty much are. So.
Yeah, but I mean, there are some people that were like just there to, I guess, report on it or just to see it firsthand or whatever. So I don't want, you know, how you always think that.
Yeah.
That group assumption. They're like, well, I wasn't out there for anyway. They went marching onto the campus, I guess to protect it, quote unquote, which I don't understand how they didn't think that them going out there in the middle of the night with their tiki torches wasn't going to send any kind of red flags or whatever.
I mean, if you come in with fire, that literally means like it's a mob, like the people that
Shrek's
were
house with their little torches.
Yeah, I was just thinking that Shrek or like Frankenstein when they pursued him, it was like fire means you're angry. Like if you're coming
angry mob.
I can see if they came with like some flashlights because they couldn't see.
Right,
no, you got fire out
right,
there.
you
like,
have fire. Come on, what message do you think that's
was like their shovels and like pitchforks.
Literally.
Yeah, pitchforks. Yeah, exactly.
Literally. So then I guess it boiled over into this whole thing the next day where it went from peaceful to not remotely peaceful, and then from there it escalated from little fights to, as everybody knows, a car being driven into a crowd of people.
Which there's no excuse for it. I don't care how you argue it. There's no excuse for it.
There's none, because they've played there are people when it first happened, because I saw it happen live, and they're like, oh, well, they're blocking traffic. So he was like, no, you were all the way up the street, clear as day, nobody around you, and you accelerated
into the crowd.
And just sailed through. So there's no excuse.
A woman died, right?
Yeah, she did.
Oh yeah, she's dead.
And there was another dude that also sustained injuries, and
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
it's
at the end, 30 people got injured that day.
yeah, it's stupid. It's stupid, and I think the whole situation, the way that it went down, um, I think it's all ridiculous. Especially like yeah, it starts from the Robert E. Lee statue, and everybody's like, oh, but it's a sign of history and all this other stuff, and it's like, if people are saying that this thing isn't cool, like I saw something, I was reading something, and it was talking about how when Robert E. Lee lost the war, he refused to wear his uniform afterwards. He said to take the Confederate flag down because they lost. Like, and he refused to be buried in his suit because they lost. You know what I mean?
So even he wanted to throw the shit away.
Okay.
So, it's one of those things where it's like, you can argue it whatever way you want to argue it, but it's like it feels like to me like there's like this romanticized version of what happened. Like, it's not cool, and if the government's saying take it down, take it down. Like, if this is a figure of somebody who did something wrong, take it down.
And you know what? And I understand from the standpoint that it's a part of history. I 110% get that, and I will be the first one to say that you need to remember your history so we do not repeat history. However,
Right.
even if they went and put it in a museum, I could deal with that.
Mm-hmm. But having it
like
out,
that's literally like Nazi Germany be like, well, this was a part of our history. Let's let that Nazi flag fly. Like, no.
Exactly. And I know that there's like a lot of people who've been clowning what's been happening, and like people, this is like the dawn of memes, so everybody puts memes for something. And someone put something up, and I'm just like, this is perfect. And it's like, all these people who are like, oh, taking down the Robert E. Lee statue, we can't do that because we need to remember our history. And it's like, you guys will be so excited when you find out that there's a thing called books.
yeah. Oh yeah, I saw that.
Like,
I did see that. That's a great point.
I mean? Like, it's not going away. It's not
erasing
you won't
it.
have like it's not being taken away and not talked about.
If you want to see it, like, they should just get a little small Robert E. Lee and put it on your fireplace or some shit. Like, why keep it in your house? Like, if you have the right to do whatever you want in your own space, but to have a monument like that at a university where people of all types of cultures and creeds come, why would everyone want to see a statue of a guy that was opposing the rights of other people that weren't like him?
Exactly. And that's the whole thing that people aren't getting. It's like, I was watching something about white supremacists and how it was dinner with white supremacists, and it was an Asian gentleman who invited this one particular dude, and I could put the video up in our description. But he was basically having a conversation, trying to understand what white supremacists believe. And it's just so crazy that someone's like, well, historically speaking, we did this and we took over the country and we don't want to share it and all this other stuff. And it's just like, to have someone just blatantly sit across somebody else and believe that you are better than somebody else based on information that's not true. You know what I mean? Like, it's like telling somebody a fairy tale, and then like, just, well, we don't want to be the minority is basically what he was saying. And it's just like, well, why don't you want to be the minority?
They're afraid of karma.
And it's like, but even like, I shouldn't even say karma, or it shouldn't, sorry, it shouldn't even be like karma. It should be, how bad are we treating the minorities now that you're afraid that you're going to become a minority?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how bad is
that's
that?
deep.
There's this I can't remember who it was, but there was this lady who came and spoke somewhere about racial tension and all this stuff. This was a while ago, but she asked how many people in this room that there's there is equality, and there's nothing to be worried about, and it's not that badly. I think it was a black and white issue. That being black in America, yada yada, blah blah blah, and almost 95% of the hands went up. Like, there's no issue. And she said, "Okay, so how many of y'all would want to
Yep.
be black in America?"
Oh, I think I saw a video.
That's what's her name? That's the lady that did the.
Is that the blue eye brown light?
Yeah, she's the woman that does that test. She's the school teacher that started that and showed how crazy it is for this to happen. Yeah. I cannot think of her name, but she will also be in the description. Yeah, that lady, she is no joke. I wish I've been wanting to go to like a thing with her.
Jane Elliott.
Yes, Jane Elliott. Yes.
We actually watched her because I've seen the adult version that she's done, but I had never seen the original.
I saw the adult version. They were like a group of like. She has like a English accent or something, right?
No, she's from here. She's like from the West.
New York. I thought she was from New York.
I'm thinking about somebody else then.
I gotta look her up more. Sorry, listeners. I know she's cool though.
While you're looking, I'll just say that it is crazy that, especially the white supremacists, how they can sit across from someone of another color or another race and blatantly like just be able to say that they have rights, but the person I'm speaking to does not. They shouldn't have rights. I'm superior, and it's almost like a mental illness, because that is based on like no fact. The only thing it's based on is that one was oppressing while the other was being oppressed throughout time. So it's like everyone has been preconditioned based off of the experience of themselves and the experience of their parents and the people before them. So they're seeing the world through a completely distorted way compared to people that have experienced being oppressed or experienced feeling what it's like to be in this country and not being the majority.
Yep.
So
she's from Iowa, about it.
She's from Iowa.
Iowa.
But it's the same even for non-racist white people. They don't get it. That's why it kind of makes me upset now, because they're like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. This is not us. What is this? We don't know anything about this. Well, no, this has been going on forever.
Well, and that's where like it's kind of interesting, like also where you're at and when you're seeing this, because like I know some white people that I've talked to about this, and they know like this isn't like yesterday. Like this just didn't start happening yesterday. So there are some people that get it, and it's just like, but there's so many people that just are so disillusioned, which brings me to the one thing that I wanted to talk about. I talked to you ladies about this. Since we talked about kind of a little bit about We Happy Few, and We Happy Few, it's about basically a whole bunch of people just choosing to forget their painful memories. And I wonder, would people at this point in time actually like take a joy pill right now to try to forget what is happening in our country?
I think a lot of people are already trying to take the joy pill.
A lot of, because they, ignorance is bliss is what they say. So there's a lot of people that are turning their heads from the situation at hand. Like me, and I live in the South, so this is nothing new to me by any means. You know what I'm saying? There's a guy in my class actually who we had this conversation a couple of days ago in class as an open discussion, and he sat there and was like, well, I'm for the Confederate flag, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. But his reasoning behind it was because I believe he said his grandfather or his great grandfather fought in that war. And it was his great uncle or his great great uncle as well. They were brothers. They went in together, and they actually got captured by the North. But they were told they basically were toying with their lives. He said, y'all can pick and choose between the two of y'all who's going to die right now, or you can both run and I'm going to hunt you both down and shoot you. And I think the brother ended up taking the rap. So, well, yeah, that makes sense because it's great
Yeah.
because he's alive. Yeah. Okay. So I had to do it. Like, somebody died, but so his whole thing was every time that his family, you know, has that flag or raises that flag, that's a part of their heritage, and it's always in honor of that person. So
Perfect.
his whole
Okay, but then
Do it at
I'll put it
home.
this way. This
Exactly.
is when I would
This is
raise this is when I would raise the question then. So I have an aunt that came to visit us and our family from Detroit. And her mother was a slave.
Mm.
She was a person whose parent was a slave to a woman in our area who owned the Newport Creamery. And then kind of like because the mother passed away, the woman like raised like her servant. And my grandfather, so this is my great grandmother, so this dude was raised, and it's a whole crazy story. Like I know this is like not deep hour, like talk about like all this other stuff, but they were raised basically as slaves. So while you honor your family with that Confederate flag, I'm also reminded of the fact that my great grandmother was a slave.
Exactly, which is
So
basically what told him, you know.
You know what I mean? Like that, like in that same argument, it's like, all right, so you got reminded that your great grandfather was a brave soldier, and I get reminded that my great grandmother was considered
lesser
furniture.
Right.
Yeah.
And that when
You know what I mean?
the flag
Like,
is flown, it was flown by people that were coming in to burn houses down and tear up Black Wall Street and shit.
Yeah, and I think that's why open discussion is so important, because up until that moment, like the fact, okay, I was telling Shrooms this earlier, there are 24 people in my class. Of those 24, only about 6 of them are white, and that's not even including the teacher. So the fact that he was like in front of everybody, which I give him balls to do, if that tells you how oblivious he was to this whole situation anyway. To be like, well, yeah, blah 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 blah, and this is why we do it. It took us having that open conversation for him to realize, like, oh shit, you know, like there's a whole nother
set
of people. Like, it had to be taken down to a personal level, because it was like, well, I understand that, but I don't know these people. That's all fine and dandy, but I'm sitting in this room telling you right now, to this day, it affects everybody. I said, the fact that I've been to interviews not even 6 months ago, and I have sat down and been told, oh, you're pretty articulate for a colored girl. What year is this? And he was like, why would anyone ever say this to you? I said, because there are people with the same mind frame that you're having right now that don't get it.
Wow.
It is.
Just to let you know, just on another note, because my dad brought this up and I thought this was like hilarious. So if you hear my father speak, my dad's really articulate, and every time like his coworkers think that he has a biracial family because they can't believe that he is married to a Black woman because he's so articulate.
I can
Just keep that in mind. Yeah. And I'm in the North, everybody. I'm in the North.
Wow. Yeah, it's definitely not any different here in California. A lot of people like to think that because it's, you know, it's on the West Coast and everyone's all free and surfer, but I think we have both extremes here. Like, I worked in Orange County for like 2 years and witnessed some of like the most microaggressive, like stupid, oh my gosh, like one dude randomly decided that he would call me a bitch because I brought my lunch that day and I didn't want to go get lunch or something. Like, I guess because I'm Black, like I was the only Black person there. And that's another thing here in California. If you work in corporate or anything like that, 9 times out of 10 you'll be one of like 2 or 3 Black people if the company's large. And then if it's like a small office, you're the only one. So like a lot of weird microaggressions of stuff that people would assume about me. And then the other extreme is that in 2012 there was a KKK rally at the downtown Pomona little center thing where I live at. So it's like California has it too. Like, don't let anyone
Yep.
fool you and try to say, "Oh, well, we're in the West and in California,
Yeah.
no, we don't care about that. We don't see color." No, they really do. And it's unfortunate. You're giving me kisses? Thank you. I know. I'm
Aw.
pretty sure it was loud.
Mommy, I love you, but you're being too loud.
I'm being too loud. You want me to be quieter so you can watch Moana? Okay, I'm almost done. All right. No.
All right, everybody, now turn to your right and kiss your child to to cure the racial toxicity.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. But okay, I completely forgot what I was talking. Oh, I was talking about here in California. So yeah, it seems this is an issue and a problem that is all around the United States. Like there isn't one place where it's not happening. And going back to what we were going into as far as the We Happy Few, which is it is a upcoming indie survival horror video game developed by Compulsion Video Games and published by Gearbox Publishing for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. I believe we established that it's coming out next year.
Yep, April 13th, 2018. Don't ask why I know, I just do.
Well, Shroom sent us a playthrough to watch of this game. I think it's like the first 45 minutes of it or something like that.
I think it's like an hour and 15, I think, something like that. I watched it. I really liked it. The guy's name is Christopher Odd. That's his YouTube name. He's pretty cool. And it's a really, really good playthrough. So yeah, gives you a good idea of the game.
Okay, yeah. So it did definitely. I watched like maybe the first 15 minutes of it, and it's totally like feeding off of how a lot of times society is. Like, you start off as this guy and you have the option to take your joy pill, and the joy pill is pretty much something that just blocks out any feeling of the wrongs or any understanding of what is wrong in the society that you live in.
Yeah, and
so
it's
you can just be happy. Like, it's pretty much putting rose-colored glasses on.
Oh yeah, and it's definitely like hallucinogenic. There's something that happens in the playthrough that you see, and it's just like, oh, okay. And there's stuff that he mentions about, like, he notices like some of the work, like the job itself doesn't look like as clean, and he's like, I've never noticed that before. And it's like, well, you wouldn't, because you're on a joy pill, so it makes you literally not see or feel anything that's unhappy. It's crazy. It's so crazy.
Yeah, and that's a lot of what I can relate that to. Like, if we're on social media, or if something happens, and someone, as a person of color, this is just in our situation, a person of color sees something that's wrong, and they're like, oh, that's wrong. Why would anyone say that? Or why would anyone do that? And, that's really racial. That's not appropriate when speaking to a person of color or whatever. It's just not appropriate to do whatever this thing is. And then the person comes out of nowhere and is like, why do you have to make everything about race? Everything's not about race. That to me that's someone that sees a downer, quote unquote, and is like, no, don't say that. There's nothing wrong. You're making it something that it's not. So that's immediately what this playthrough, at least that first 15 minutes, reminded me of, is someone trying to suppress someone that sees the truth, and they want to suppress them so that they can continue to live joyous and live happy because they're happy in the situation that they're in.
Yes, and it's funny that you say that, because it feels like every time I used to talk to different kinds of people about the president now and things that he said or things that he's done, and it's like I'm looking at stuff that he's done in the past, and it's just really funny that he would say these things like before he got elected. I'm gonna stop this, I'm gonna get these jobs, blah 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 blah. So people are picking out the things that they want and like leaving everything else by the wayside. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna build a wall and we're gonna keep Mexicans out. He's probably not gonna do that, so I'm not gonna follow that thing. I'm just gonna follow the thing about the jobs, or the healthcare might cost you too much, so I'm gonna do something about that. And it's really funny because I remember, like, in my old job, these people were talking about, like, what he was going to do. And everybody was Republican there. And I'm not saying that to be like, Republicans are bad. No. But they were picking out literally things that he was saying and going with what he was saying. And then the negative stuff, they would just leave to the side. And I'm sitting there going, as a person of color, and as a person who has heard him talk about, like, Black Lives Matter, or talking about, the wall, or talking about the Muslim ban, or talking about, something that is in his history, which is like the New York Five?
Yeah.
The 5 gentlemen, and how he used to talk about them, and it's like they're found not guilty, and he's like, I still think that they're guilty, and all this other stuff, and it's like,
I'm
I
sorry
can't afford
to stop
ignore
you,
that.
but my dad would be so happy that you brought this up. He's been trying to get me to watch a documentary on the New York 5 for like the past 4 months. So he would be, shout out to my dad. He's probably gonna listen to this later.
Dad!
But yeah, he was like, you have to watch it because this guy is crazy. But yeah.
Now let me be ignorant real quick and ask what the New York 5 is.
Oh, I can explain that for you if you let me take it.
Yeah, sure.
So basically, the New York 5 was in the 90s. There was 5 gentlemen who were basically they were arrested because this woman said that she was raped, and that she was raped by 5 gentlemen, right? And so she picked them out of a lineup and said, all of these men had raped me in Central Park, and it was at night. And she said it was these 5 dudes, right? So these 5 gentlemen who were nowhere near the scene, were arrested, and they were in jail for like, I want to say like 10 years. Like they just got out.
Oh,
like, maybe,
wow.
Yeah, like in let's see, it happened like I want to say 95, 96, and they like just got out in the early 2000s. So they were wrongly done, and finally science and DNA testing proved these gentlemen were scot-free. They did not rape this woman, and they had to spend that amount of time in jail for wrongly being accused. And I don't know if they ever found the guy, the gentleman who raped this woman, but I know that these men were freed. But when this happened, a lot of people were arguing for these gentlemen, saying that they weren't even there. Like literally, like they were not there. And there was a time when Trump was just like being a hotshot back in, being a businessman. He would just kind of like spout stuff off, and because he's in New York.
Oh, he doesn't still spout stuff off?
Say that ain't
Listen, I'm not trying to like tone down what he does. I'm just saying, like, back then he didn't really have like a platform. He was just like a rich guy in New York, and it was just like, oh well, this rich guy in New York says these guys are totally guilty, and now this rich guy just happens to be our president who's doing the same stuff. But yeah, it's not an ignorant thing. I'm so glad that you asked about it, because a lot of people don't know about that. So whenever I was like side-eye to the president, and people were like, why don't you like it? I'm just like, New York 5.
So yeah, can't be surprised at what he's doing now if he was doing all that before.
Oh yeah, but there are things that he said, and it's just like people are just like, no, like I'll take my joy pill and I'm just gonna redact the other stuff that he said. Like, that has nothing to do with.
Because it's so comfortable. Those people that were at your job or whatever talking about all the good things that he's doing but decided to leave the bad out, that's exactly what the character at the beginning of We Happy Few was doing with the media, with the newspaper.
Oh, yeah.
Just redact. I'm glad you said that. Redacting out all the bad things that can be wrong or make you feel down or make you feel like there's an issue are redacted out. And
yes,
with that,
and mind you, like, the thing that's crazy about this is just that even though We Happy Few, I think is around World War II, and it has nothing to do with what's going on in America right now. So I don't want anybody listening to this to be like, these girls are saying that We Happy Few has everything to do. No, it does not.
We're just relating it to it, the subliminal messages behind it, how they can relate to now.
it relates to so many, and this is why I think anybody and everybody should play it. Or if you can't play it, if you're scared of that kind of stuff, watch it be played. Just look at the message, because it's any time in history, any time and every time. If you look at Nazi Germany and how, hey, we're only talking about the Jews and everything that happened with the Jews, but this doesn't really affect anybody else, because all this stuff is their problem. This is their fault. So if you're not Jewish, you don't have to look at it. If you're Aryan race, you don't have to look at it. You don't have to worry about it. Or just like in the Civil War, if you're not a slave, you don't have to worry about this stuff. These guys want us to free these slave people. Why do we want to free them? Just ignore that stuff. You don't have to worry about that stuff. Or the Revolutionary War. Every single war or every single situation where people are going through like just major amounts of crap, this game represents all of that, because you could easily just not pay attention to it. And I know, like, I am guilty of taking my own happy pill, which is like when I see about Charlottesville and I just know, like, oh my god, all the race relation stuff, I'm gonna go and play this other social media game so I'm not looking at it. You know what I mean? It's so relevant. It's so relevant, and I'm so glad they made it.
We're on the receiving end of it. Like, regardless if we're there directly experiencing it or not, the fact that this even exists can do something to you. It can make you want to withdraw and try not to think about it, because at the end of the day, there's a whole group of people that were willing to run through a crowd with a car that dislike me. If they saw me and I was face to face with this person, they would dislike me because of what I look like. There's not like, oh, they only don't like those people over there or at the school or whatever. Right. No, these people don't like me. So that's mentally, heavy to think about.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like I was saying this joke, and mind you, I'm stressing that this is a joke. I was saying this joke to Rob, and I'm sitting there going, like, people need to understand that you need to earn the right to hate somebody. Like, you can't just look at somebody's, like, skin and say, I hate them because of their skin, or I hate them because of their religion, or I hate them because of this thing that is beyond them. You have to get to know the person and find out that person is a dick. Like, that you can't stand that person because they chew funny or something like that. You can't look at somebody and be like, no, you can't. It doesn't make sense. You can't just hate somebody. Like, I know there are some people that they're wonderful people and I cannot stand them because they do not stop talking. And sometimes I'm one of those people. But I know that because I've talked to this person time and time again and they don't stop. Like, they literally grab you a conversation and you try to run and you try to, like, take every loophole to try to get out of the conversation, and they beat you to it. Like, they block the exits. I hate those kind of
having flashbacks.
I know she likes to post-traumatic stress disorder.
But I'm just saying, like,
I hear them.
Stop talking. Stop. In a padded room, rocking back and forth. Stop talking.
But yeah, like, you can't hate somebody just because of the way that they look. Like, you're missing out on so many beautiful kinds of people. You're missing out on people that have these ideas that are so different from your own. That is why, like, I try to become friends with anybody. Like, if you see me on the street and you're a nice enough person, I will probably become friends with you. You know what I mean? I like learning about where people come from because it's different from where I come from. I would never have your experience. I could never have your experience because I'm not you. Right. You know what I mean? And I wish everybody would just do that so we all could just get along and be done, and that's that. And also, one other thing, because it pisses me off, because we talked about this in the conversation earlier, but the tiki torches being used, these are the same
Come on, do better. If you're gonna KKK, you better KKK right.
Yes.
Okay.
But these are the same goddamn people that are just like, Taco Tuesday! You can't have Taco Tuesday if you don't like people who make tacos!
I feel like everyone there was like a barista or some shit, like a pissed off barista, and they were like, "We're gonna go down to Home Depot and we're gonna get these tiki torches and we're gonna not let them take this statue down."
No, bro. And I can't stand that. It's like the same people, the same like racist people are eating Chinese food and Mexican food and soul food
and traveling all around the country, going on vacations to Cabo, like. Come on.
No, you can't hate people and then like stuff about their culture at the same time.
Oh,
you gotta accept the people and the culture.
Gosh.
That my rant is done, and I'm glad I didn't argue with anybody in the group today in this episode.
Well,
but
we have to stick together. You know what I'm saying? We have to stick together as Black women. We're not gonna have a console war or an Eddie Gordo argument or anything.
We ain't got time for that today.
We don't got time for that today. Exactly.
Yes. So I think we need to call this episode "Punch a Nazi," because I've been seeing that image everywhere.
Whoa there.
Have you not seen that? It's like Captain America, like. Has been like wondering what the hell is going on. He's just like, why are we not punching Nazis?
What? I've seen like people like hashtag punch a Nazi today or something like that. But
no, you can't meet violence with more violence. It doesn't
no. I've been saying that we should go out and punch them, but it's just really funny because it's showing like Captain America, who was before he got frozen, he was punching and taking down Nazis. So now it's like him, with all the Marvel stuff.
Oh, this is legit. Movies. This isn't like a meme thing.
It is a meme, but it's like it's supposed to be like text messages. Like, have you ever seen those text messages between superheroes?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's been a few of them where it's like Captain America's like, why are we not punching Nazis? Why are they back? What is going on? Sorry, guys. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's not my fault. That's my ignorance.
Don't attack people, but don't accept their hate either. That's all I'm gonna say.
Don't accept being attacked either. Definitely self-defend that ass. If
there you go. Self-defend
that down, because I will be doing that if anything happens over here. So yeah, I think that shrooms that you brought that up, how We Happy Few connects to a lot of what's going on today, at least the mentality behind a lot of things.
Yes.
So, I think I don't know. Did you guys want to do that article, or do y'all want to?
I feel like we've hit so many points. I think so too. If we had like an audience, they would be cheering right now. So I think we should bow out at a good moment.
Yeah, I think this is good. All right, so we are going to end this episode of the Shadow Brokers podcast here. Everybody that is out there listening to this, thank you so much for listening. Be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe, or if you're listening on SoundCloud, what does SoundCloud have? A like thing?
It has a heart.
It has a heart.
Yes, that.
It has a heart. And tell your friends, tell your family, even tell your dads, because we put some good information in this episode.
And our dads seem to know. Yeah, our dads seem to like our podcast. So this is great. So everybody tell your dad, everybody's dad, to listen.
There you go.
Yes.
Right. Okay, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Do we need to put our social medias again? I know we said this for the last few episodes, so yeah, I keep forgetting.
Go ahead, Shrooms.
All right, well, I always mix this up. I notice like after I play it back. So I'm going to try to do this in order and remember this time. So Twitter, I'm at Crystal Mushroom, so feel free to hit me up or talk to me there. Twitch, Crystal Mushroom, so twitchtv.com/Crystal Mushroom. You can also see me on YouTube. I'm not always there all the time, but you can hit me up there. YouTube.com/Crystal Mushroom. SoundCloud as well. I am trying to put more voice clips up. If you hear anything that you like, please say something. Send me a message on it. It makes me really happy. So that's soundcloud.com/Crystal Mushroom. I think that's everything, guys. I hope I got everything this time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Dagger.
Alrighty. You can find me on Twitch at HappyDagger88. Twitter as well, HappyDagger88, and then YouTube is HappyDagger Mediocre Games.
Yay!
And that's it. Yeah.
And I'm your girl, the Mad Queen 88. You can find me and my child,
Also known
Marley,
as
is
Mommy.
here as well. I am also a mommy. You can find me on Twitter at the Mad Queen 88. You can find me on YouTube. It's the Mad Queen 88 as well. And I do have a Twitch. It's the Mad Queen 88 as well. And I'm thinking about switching up the game and coming back to stream on Twitch. I'm not exactly sure when, but I think I'm gonna go back to streaming on Twitch and then loading like content or replays to my YouTube channel. That's kind of what I was doing in the beginning, and I think I'm gonna go back to that. So you guys be on the lookout for the Switch. I'll probably make it, if not this weekend, maybe next weekend, so we'll see.
Cool.
And don't forget the podcast page on Twitter
Yes,
as well.
yes. Please follow us at SBPcast on Twitter.
Yes.
And we are, is it Shadow Brokers Podcast on WordPress or something? What is it? Our blog? We have a blog, guys.
We're gonna have to put the link down because I mess it up every time we talk about it.
It's something at WordPress.
Just like Google Shadow Brokers podcast blog thingamabob and something might pop
And
up. I'm not really
WordPress
sure.
or something.
Yeah.
Put both words. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll make it easy for you guys because clearly we're unprepared.
But you love us though.
Yes. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you for stopping by. Like, sub, hearts, all the things on all the platforms. And be sure to check us out for episode 5, all right?
Oh, and one more thing. If you have a suggestion of a person that could be on our show or a guest or you want to be a guest, feel free to send us that information too. We would love to interview you. Just thought I should put that out there as well.
Yes. Add us at SBPcast or email us at shadowbrokerspodcast.gmail.com or at gmail.com. I think that's our
At
email.
gmail.com.
Good Lord,
Yeah.
I don't know
At Gmail,
anything.
yeah.
It's okay. We talked about it a lot. You took your happy pill. It's okay.
I know. I'm probably just gonna take this joy pill and get the hell off this podcast. That's what I'm gonna do. All right, you guys. Thank you for listening. Peace out.
Peace.